Hi, y'all. Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina, and it is that time. We are getting ready for our live stream show. It is Sunday night, March 7th, and we are coming up on that live stream show very shortly. We're going to get started probably right around 8 p.m. So sit back, relax, grab your drink, and...
8:19.
Yeah, at 8:30 is when we start the show.
You said 8.
You said 8.
Oh, I said, my bad.
Yeah.
At 8:30 we're going to start the show. My bad.
We did start at 8.
We started.
For sure.
We started some things at 8. But we are going to start the show here shortly. Remember, guys, don't forget to comment where you're watching from. Don't forget to share your video. If you have any questions, don't forget to comment your questions or text your questions into that phone number in the bottom corner there. That's 727-393-1947. That's the phone number you want to go ahead and send your questions to. That phone number in the bottom right-hand corner. Hopefully everybody can hear us okay. We are going to get started, like I said, right around 8:30, not 8 o'clock. So thanks for tuning in, y'all. We are very, very close to getting this show on the road. So bear with us a few minutes here as we get the rest of this lined up. Hopefully you guys can hear us okay. Hopefully we don't have the echo like we did last week. Yeah, we had a weird echo. But I think it was my phone. I don't know. I think we figured it out. We tested it, and now it seems to be functioning properly. Tonight, we've got Captain Frank and Will in the studio with us for our live stream show. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Good.
Oh, you're trying to do the echo?
Yeah.
Very funny.
Good.
It's really too soon.
What's up?
Don't forget, guys, to comment where you're watching from. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, don't forget to give that video a thumbs up, a like for us. We appreciate it, guys. If you're on Facebook, share it to your favorite fishing club or your timeline. We'd highly appreciate it. And Tim Harris, starting us off right, buddy. How you doing? Thanks for those 1,185 stars.
That must have been all he had left. I just I send them all. Send whatever I got left.
Might stay away from the moonshine. Yes, I will stay away from the moonshine. I learned a hard lesson.
Is that right?
Actually, I've learned that lesson quite a few times.
Yeah.
I just keep forgetting the lesson.
Yeah.
But I think I figured it out this time. Don't drink moonshine, especially after a long live show. Didn't we start the moonshine in the supporters after show?
It was very late in the show.
Oh, we started it actually on
it was
the live
like
show?
Right,
It was the switch.
It was the last one minute or something.
Dude, it was not the switch.
No.
Howard Johnson, our good buddy, sent us a big
the real
mason
deal.
jar of some real deal. Like, I think it was 196 proof. It was serious. And it tasted like grape juice. It was so smooth, and it was just incredibly dangerous.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't drink it.
It was scary.
I think I had to work the next day. I got double tomorrow, so I'm going to take it easy today.
Well, I drank a whole glass of it, and
you did.
I couldn't speak English at the end of the supporter show. We didn't even do a supporter show. We went outside and did a live video from my phone.
That's right.
It was kind of a supporters show, and then we invited them all to the bar.
Does that stop sign say floor it?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't drive home. Jason drove me home,
true.
thankfully.
Those videos have been deleted.
They were deleted. They were deleted. We did delete those. Funny how that happens. But tonight, we are going to do a lot better, trust me. We were just telling stories, war stories from episodes past where we had some technical difficulties, and that was the problem that night. Because of the technical difficulties, we couldn't do the show like we like to. Gosh darn it. Did you see that? So we ended up having to kind of improvise.
We took a shit show and turned it into a shit show.
Yes, exactly. It was ugly.
We had no choice.
Yeah. The technical difficulties made us do it. We are very close to getting ready to get started, guys. Just getting a few more things buttoned up here, and we'll get started closer to around 8:30 in about 7 minutes. So you still got a second. If you need to get that venting tool set up for yourself and get snuggled up for a great show. Will is, like I said, in the studio tonight, and we are going to be talking a lot about some deep water stuff on the 39-hour trip and the deep water closure. Frank's with us too, so we're going to be talking a lot about those hogfish, and we've got exciting updates for you as far as what's going on near shore. So a lot of cool stuff on the show tonight. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a good one. We just need a few more minutes to get rolling. Will, you excited? When's the last time you were on the show, Will?
It hasn't been that long. I would say 6 weeks.
I feel like it's been too long.
It's been too long though. Yeah, and then I missed one. And I couldn't come one weekend. I was on vacation.
Yes. You said you were going to come, and then you didn't come. Mm-hmm. Just like Captain Brian and Joe Drew were supposed to be on tonight as well. I apologize if you got that email, and we said Captain Joe and Brian was going to be here too. They were planning to be here. Brian has a better excuse. He just got off an overnight trip, and he was probably a little tuckered out. So did Will, but
I'll make
you made it. You made it.
I'll write them up in the morning.
Yeah, they didn't answer their phone, so I doubt they're watching the show. At least we hope they're not watching the show,
Well,
right?
we're going to talk about them.
I think we're already talking about them. So, but it's still going to be a good time. We're still excited. And again, while you're waiting, guys, don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, you got to subscribe to our channel. And also, guys, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Comment where you're watching from. If you're on Facebook, don't forget to share it to your favorite fishing club or to your timeline. And don't forget to tell your friends to tune in. Remember, we're going to be giving away free stuff. So if you want to win free fishing trips during the show, guys, you do have to comment at least one time on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook channel. You got to comment go to Hubbard's Marina on Facebook, and you got to comment at least one time there to be eligible to win those free fishing trips. And all you have to do is comment. Comment one time and you're entered to win. You can watch on YouTube. You can watch wherever you want, but you do have to comment at least one time on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream in order to be eligible to win one of those free fishing trips. And if we choose your name as one of those lucky winners, don't forget, guys, you do have to claim that free trip by texting us at that phone number in the bottom corner there within about 5 minutes, your full home address to claim that free trip. That's how that works, guys. So don't forget that. Guys and gals, I should say. We have a lot of lady viewers, too. And speaking of, before I forget, next week, we've got a special episode next week. A lady angler episode, if you will. Some of our more experienced specialty lady anglers are going to come join me in the studio for the show next week, so we're looking forward to that. Still talking fishing and still talking fishing tips and tricks and answering your questions, but a little bit more of a female spin, kind of showing you that there's more than just really salty, crusty fishermen on the boat like us.
That's right.
Ladies do it too. I feel like there's more and more ladies fishing
There's
now.
more crusty women out there than men.
We
I mean,
talked
on
a
this
lot.
overnight,
Yeah, overnight.
on this last overnighter, how many? I think you had 3 lady anglers this trip.
Yeah, we had 3
4?
lady anglers, and it was extreme conditions. And Pat on the bow, I told her a few times, she's fishing in the pulpit, and I told her a few times she could move towards the back of the boat,
Right.
and she didn't.
She just sat up there and took it.
She stayed up in that pulpit and did well.
And outfished everybody.
She did outfish the gentleman next to her, I won't lie.
LaShonda Brown, don't leak the supporter stuff. Remember, if you're a supporter, you get that advanced news. You get the info before everybody else. So we will announce that Lady Anglers page next week during the show. So if you're not a supporter, stay tuned next week for that info. If you are a supporter, obviously you already got that info and link there, and that's going to be Jennifer Roberts is the one launching that one. It was her idea, but I launched the page because I didn't trust her with
None of us
anything
really do.
Hubbard's Marina branded, since she tried to kill me on my birthday.
She's never embarrassed me.
That you remember. Richard Blazak, thanks for those stars, buddy. Appreciate you, dude. Justin Printup from New York, what's up, man? Michael Baker from Ohio, what's going on, dude? Will, what's up? We got Will in the studio and Will watching.
I never met a Will I didn't like.
Adam Franklin, what's going on, buddy? Adam Franklin gave us this bottle of Angel's Envy.
Nice.
Good dude. Good dude. I think we're ready to start. You guys ready
Let's
to
do
start?
it, man.
Let's get this camera on. Let's see if it works. Drum roll, and it works. What's up, guys? Again, Captain Dylan. Someone didn't silence their cell phone, guys. Amateur hour.
This is how we start. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like somebody
Off
time.
to-
That was probably Jennifer Roberts.
Probably was. So we are off to a good start.
Okay, I'm wearing a small hat if I move over a little bit.
You're wearing a small hat. What do you mean?
On the screen.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
dude?
that little
Right
girl.
there.
Oh, the green strip.
Top of the morning to you.
You should hold your head there.
I can't. No, I'm not that coordinated.
Well, we always start off the show, guys, by kind of showing you what we've been catching. So we are going to talk a little bit about that inshore bite first, and then we'll work our way near shore and offshore, showing you guys what we've been catching. We're going to talk a little bit about the weather, and then we're going to answer your questions. So first things first, let's show you what we've been seeing inshore recently. And started out with these black drum.
I thought that was a whiting.
It's a monster whiting.
Yeah, state record.
World record. No, the big black drum, man, have been biting well. They're catching them around the flats, around the bridges, dock lines, a lot of these big black drum. They, I think, Will, you've caught a lot of big ones around the docks. I know the ones that I've caught around the docks have always been on shrimp, targeting other species, but I remember you using crabs for them before,
Yeah,
right?
those are a half blue crab right
they
there.
love that because the
Yeah.
pinfish don't pick them all off. You know, so
Yeah, the old half blue crab,
hold
just
them
let
down
her
there a little
soak.
longer.
Hold it down and let her soak on the bottom. Lots of big black drum lately around the flats, bridges,
There's a school that runs through there from time to time.
around the
I've
docks.
heard that. I've through the flats. I've never
I
seen it
gotcha.
before, but I've heard about it.
That would be cool to get a school of fish like that moving across the flat while you're trout fishing with light tackle. That'd be one heck of a hookup. Then the mangrove snapper bite's been picking up inshore. That water is still pretty chilly, but luckily those mangrove snapper are already kind of showing up early in the year for the mangrove snapper to be showing up, but hey, they are. So that's exciting. Good omen of what's to come inshore. Because normally right now it's all about the sheep's head still, but the water's kind of warming up a lot faster than we normally see it. And we'll talk more about that near shore and that implication near shore. Brad Wooten, thanks, man. Trevor Keller as well. Appreciate those stars, guys. Also seeing a lot of these redfish. The redfish bite recently has been going real well around those inshore waters. We were catching a bunch of them around the dock recently.
They still are. The other day I was watching some guys. They were getting blasted.
Steady. Yeah, the redfish have been steady at the dock for a long time.
Yeah, it seemed like it kind of slowed down a little bit this past week, but they today a guy was fishing off the beach behind the office, and he was like every 5 minutes reeling in a nice whiting. So that was pretty cool to see the whiting come into the pass like that. Obviously, the sheep's head bite's still going really well, seeing a lot of those sheep's heads still. And as the water warms up, those snook are starting to push back in around the passes. You guys seeing them early in the morning around the lights already?
Yeah, just starting to. Yeah.
It's early, and
Hey,
we're already
go
seeing
back one photo. Now that guy.
this one.
Oh yeah, he can bust off some redfish.
Yeah. He puts in some time.
you know, I watched you break a couple of them off this week.
He scraped that one right up the side of a pile. And
He was trying to descale it.
Get half the
Get
job
ready.
done.
I'm getting you ready for May. We'll talk about that season thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
They're just, it's still hurry up and wait. We talked a little bit about snook season last week. The FWC just at this last meeting basically said, well, we don't have to make a decision now. Let's wait till April. So still kind of up in the air.
Awesome.
They were recommending to open snook, redfish, and trout. Now it seems like they're recommending not. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out.
Why, is there too many of them?
There's so many.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, so many redfish around.
There's more than I've ever seen there.
Yeah, well, that's a very opinionated thing.
Yeah,
and we're offshore fishermen, so we're not going to go too deep into that, other than to let people know they're not planning to open them right now. But we'll see how it shakes out. David Bruns, appreciate those stars. And Bill Corley, appreciate you, dude. Thank you, guys. Let's see, what else we got. Inshore, the trout bite's been on fire this past week. Around the grass flats, those soft plastics moving slowly around those edges, those potholes, the dock lines, bridge lights at night. Definitely been going well around John's Pass. Our friend John Sasser has been catching a bunch of those speckled trout at night around the bridge lights using those Love's lures. Remember those things?
I remember.
Those
Yes,
are the
we were talking about the
ones,
love lures. Can you still get love lures?
I don't think you can buy them like the OG Love's lures in the package.
You just gotta make them.
Yeah, you
make
make
them.
With
Man
your
up.
Yeah.
and that's what John does. He makes his own leaders, and he does really well on trout.
It's been so long since I caught a sea trout. I ought to go out there one night and just try to.
Dude, they're
It is
wrecking them.
so many years.
Yeah, they're wrecking them around the Johns Pass Bridge at night. Lots of trout. All right, so that's
Can
it.
you keep trout? Or is they're out too?
Yeah, snook, redfish, and trout, all catch and release only.
That's how long it's been since I've been fished. I don't keep
Jennifer
anything
Roberts talking smack already.
Yeah.
They're in Vegas, I think.
Yeah, they are checking in from Vegas. She's probably losing money at a slot machine right now.
Or it's already gone and they're bored in the hotel room.
That's why they're watching the show.
That's right.
Sorry, Greg.
They can't count that.
All right, let's see. Now we went inshore. Let's work our way near shore and offshore, guys, and show you what we've been catching out deeper. First things first, we'll start off with these Flying Hub 2 catches. This is one of the reasons we wanted Joe on the show tonight to talk a little bit about those Flying Hub 2 catches. Captain Rich Golis, and Captain Joe have been kind of trading on and off on the Flying Hub 2. And recently, they really dialed in on those red grouper. They've been doing well. I think the other day they had 8 people and had like 16 fat red groupers, some nice mangroves. Definitely some good catches of fish. And you've been seeing them, too, on the overnighter.
Yeah, there's red groupers on the 39-hour and 44. And what we're doing is the mangrove fishing is mediocre for us in the shallow water right now. We're fishing deep water at night where we don't catch many grouper and then going into the grounds and catching grouper in the grounds during the day.
In and around the grounds.
Yeah, in and around the grounds. And big ones, too.
Yeah.
Our last 2 trips, we had a 21-pounder and I think a 16-pounder.
Nice. 21-pounder?
And shallow water.
That's a monster red
That
grouper.
is a nice one, yeah.
And to catch them in shallow is awesome. So definitely seeing those mangrove snapper, those, you've been catching a lot of yellowtails too, huh?
Great mix of fish out there right now. Yeah, and I feel like the mix is even going to get better with springtime coming up right now.
Yeah. This is the time of year to go fishing because not only is the bite going well, but also you've got light loads. I mean, super light loads. Tomorrow's 39-hour, or Tuesday's 39-hour trip only has a handful of people on it. The weather's kind of scaring people away, but the weather doesn't even look half as bad as it has been.
Way better.
Yeah.
It's fishable for sure.
I thought this
it's
whole
fish
week was
catching
shot,
weather,
but
in
we
my
are looking
opinion.
a lot better now than what it was looking.
Yeah, I mean, March, it's a windy time. And I think that's part of the reason people kind of shy away. But also, I mean, this is a time of year where the water's cooler. It's not too hot outside. Trigger fish just opened up. We're seeing a good mix of fish. Unfortunately, catching and releasing gags. But
A lot of gags in March out there, yeah.
yeah, they're still biting very well. Catching and releasing those red snapper. And the cobia showed up. It seems like we've been seeing quite a few of these.
Yeah, we just threw one back this trip, too. Right undersized.
Right undersized. And on this trip, was this 2 different cobias or was this the same fish?
No, that's 2 different ones. That's 2 different ones.
Oh,
there.
it was?
Yep. I'm thinking.
You don't remember?
That's two different people.
Yo, that one's
Touche, Will.
hey, small. Small.
Yes, I'm gonna say that's two different Cobias, and
You
maybe
would
that
say
one is a
so.
few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and the other one is more recent.
So what happened was that midweek 39 hour before the 44 hours, somehow the photos and videos got all mixed up, and we kind of weren't sure which was which. So I wasn't sure if one was from one trip and one was from the other.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are two different Cobias right there.
Yeah.
So
2008, right?
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
both caught many years ago.
That guy's
They're
retired
kidding,
now.
guys. They're
that guy's
kidding.
retired now, isn't he?
So
We
if
are
a
totally
cobia swam by the boat on a 39-hour trip and you could turn around and grab the perfect rod and reel, in your opinion, and rod and reel and bait and leader, what would it be?
A lot of times it's what you have in your hand.
Yeah. The closest thing to you.
So it's
That's
not the
right.
perfect, it's
And
what's ever
a
close.
live bait generally, but sometimes a cobia will eat anything. But if
Yeah.
you have a frisky little pinfish or a frisky decent sized pinfish, and even on a bottom rig, if you see him right there, you drop it down. Either he's gonna go away or he's gonna circle
Don't
around.
cast
and eat
a
it.
bottom
No,
rig.
don't throw something or a big mahi. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't throw a 6-ounce weight at him. A big mahi you would think about more than a cobia. A cobia is a little dumber than a mahi is.
Yeah, I've noticed that when they get around the boat like that they are ready to eat absolutely anything.
Yeah,
the
they're gonna
closest
eat.
bait could be an old crushed up shrimp on the ones that I'm talking about swimming between the lines. You know, we've had that happen.
Yeah, they're eating things on their way there.
Right, they're trying to they followed somebody's bait up and they're looking for it.
So you're saying just dangle whatever you have. hooked
That's
up
the
on your
best,
bottom
yeah.
tack.
Unless it's like a piece of squid, and then you'll probably get him on the squid. No,
So a
A
frisky
Zebco
pinfish.
808, right? Zebco 808 and squid.
yeah.
Is what
I
we're trying
had
to tell
one
you.
time where I had a knocker rig pinfish in my hand. I was about to throw it out, and a cobia swam up, and I put it in the water, and he ate it right there, and I didn't even reel. And I just left him in a circle, and I was like, "Here, get a gaff," and he gaffed him and brought him in the boat.
Nice.
Classic. They can't all be like that, though.
No, they don't all work out that way.
So, Vicky Poole, appreciate those stars. Thank you very much, guys. And Mark Toncray, appreciate the stars. Eric Storm, all sending those stars. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook and you don't know what those are, the stars are basically a way to show your support and kind of make all these things possible. It's how we funded the studio. So appreciate everybody showing their support with those stars. If you choose to. So let's get back to the photos now that we got way off topic talking about squid. There's Tammy with a nice mangrove. Nice catch and
Oh,
release.
that's Scott.
Yeah.
Jackpot Scott right there. He travels the state of Florida.
Winning jackpots.
Winning jackpots. He picks them when they're ready.
Is that right?
No, it's not.
So John was up there fishing. I was like, John, act like you're trying to break it out of the bottom so nobody thinks you're fishing up there in the bow.
That's really what he was doing?
Yeah, he was fishing. I was like, John, just act like you're breaking it out of the bottom so when Dylan sees it, he'll...
He's
And
doing
then you
his
tell
job.
me
Look at John
anyway?
working.
Yeah, I
John's
don't
doing
know,
his
it's
job
like,
up front.
he listens to me.
He listens. That's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So we forgot to introduce the bottle sponsors for tonight,
Oh.
but we'll do that after we finish the photos. So the hogfish bite, man. What's your impression on the hogfish bite?
Slow down a little bit.
That's what I was gonna say.
You know, with that moon, I don't know if it was just the moon. I don't know, man. Because we
It seemed like right before the full moon, it slowed down a little bit, and it just
And then
hasn't picked up.
Yeah, it
it's
hasn't.
been steady. It's not
Right.
like we're not catching.
well,
them.
that was our last trip. Was the worst hog fishing trip I've ever had. And then the very, I mean, we couldn't get a bite on a grunt. I
What
mean,
about
we
mangoes?
couldn't-
Mangoes slow too?
Yeah, well, we couldn't even get grunts.
It's transitional
We couldn't
time
get
right
a
now.
grunt.
Gray
Yeah.
snapper.
A gray snapper. Smokey and I were trying. We could not catch one for nothing, and it just shut off. And then the very next day, had the best half day I've had in 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we just couldn't keep the fish off the hook for whatever reason. They got lockjaw. I wish I was hog fishing the next day. I swear we would have clobbered them. But there's tomorrow or Tuesday.
And you just never know.
You just never know.
This
You
is a
never
good
know. It was-
mango inshore time of year too.
Yeah, the mangrove bite has been picking up.
Night snapper.
I was on the Real Animals radio show this morning, and I was talking a little bit about the mangrove snapper that we were catching on that 39 hour. And Mike Anderson said inshore and near shore, they've been seeing more and more mangroves. And when he says near shore, his definition of near shore in his bay boat is out to 9 miles, where my definition of near shore is out to 20 miles.
Or 20 to 30,
Yeah.
Inside 30, for
It basically,
Mine's
to
the
me,
Skyway.
near shore is basically out to about 100 feet or about 20 miles. And then offshore is anything beyond that. So we have a different definition of near shore. But he was saying that anywhere from like 9 miles to the Gandy Bridge, they've seen a lot of mangrove snappers.
Yeah.
So hopefully that pickup in those fish will move near shore as well. DeNorris, buddy, hit us with, Norris hit us with 1,200 stars.
Yes, sir. He owes me a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, DeNorris. Appreciate it, man. John Anderson with 350. Brett Davis and Mike Gooden, appreciate you guys as well. Thank you, guys. And let's see here. What other photos do we have? I think we got a couple more hogfish photos. We were a little light on those all-day photos.
Yeah.
Seems like John
has been
Atkins.
slacking.
John Atkins is the only one who sends me photos, so he's definitely not slacking. I feel like everybody else is slacking.
Well, it's because we work.
Oh.
And John just like mills around the boat.
Oh, that's what it
Yeah.
is. Okay.
That's pretty much what it
Jason? Oh, you're talking about John.
Hey,
is. Yeah, John Atkins.
there's Kylie Batchelor said, "Hey, Dad."
I saw a sister
Yeah,
in
she
there,
ju-
too.
We're not friends, Kylie.
Nope.
It's messed up,
She's
dude.
not allowed.
It's messed up.
I specifically said you are not allowed a friend Dylan.
There's Bearded Todd on
No,
there.
we did it just because when she's 13, we said we would evaluate this whole social media thing because she's never been able to have it. So we said we'd get you started. We got her a Facebook, and she's only allowed to have family on there. So that's
I'm part of the family.
well. Kylie, did you get a Christmas present from Dylan last year?
When's your
Moving on.
Kylie, when's your birthday?
David Bruns, thanks, man. This shirt is actually one of the new Hubbard's Marina shirts by Salinity. It's Tampa Bay. It says Hubbard's Marina, Tampa Bay, but it's like
That's
a
nice.
unique
Will, did you get one of
mock-up.
those? Will, did you
Well,
get
yeah,
one of those?
they are
absolutely.
a very fair price of, I think, some around $20 at the Hubbard's Marina
That's awesome.
office.
I sure would like
Get
one of
yourself
those.
one.
I will. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah.
Just go in there, pick out any
No,
size
you
you
get
want.
employee
Kylie,
discounts.
Does Kylie get one also? As your,
Kylie will get
as your
one.
niece?
You will pay for one.
She's like your niece, right?
I see my
Kylie, when you get into the
slot-sized
office next
porgies
time,
down
grab
there.
any shirt you
What?
want. It's on Uncle Dylan.
I see my slot-sized porgies joke down there.
What slot size porgy joke? Let's hear it.
In my fishing seminar on the ride out on the 39 hour, some of you guys have probably heard this before. And sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It depends on the crowd. I pretend like there has been an act, the act of 2021 Porgy Act.
Oh, I've heard this one.
And the porgies have a slot size now of a half inch. It is a half inch slot size,
Oh,
15
yeah.
and 3/4. But you can keep one over slot size.
Smokey would like that.
This trip, speaking of that,
What the heck? This did this last week. It's crazy.
I think they can still see us pretty good.
No, the lights are fine, but it just changed.
This trip, I think this is the
makes
first time
everything
this has ever happened to me. I was walking back with a couple of porgies and a mango, and a porgy jumped out of my hand and went overboard. And I said he was not in the slot size.
Dusty did that with a giant hogfish once.
That's the only other time I've heard of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the only other time that's happened.
There was
ever.
one time a porgy jumped out of my hands and landed on my boot.
Went right through it.
Spine went right through it into my foot. Couldn't pull my foot out. Couldn't push it in. Couldn't pull the spine out. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So porgies, they're not fun. I wish there was a half-inch slot size on them.
Or no slot. They should be like,
Yeah,
shut them
closed.
down.
It's like
Shut 'em
snook,
down.
trout, and redfish.
Shut them down 11 months of the year. They need to oh my God. Can you
electric
imagine
eels.
if they did that?
Oh man,
And the electric eels. I think we've talked about electric eels before too.
what do you mean?
A guy asked me this trip, Estelle, if this eel is electric, and I didn't even mention it.
You didn't mention what?
I didn't tell him that they were electric, and he asked me if they were.
Wait. So you have another joke in your fishing seminar
Yeah, about electric eels.
Let's
yes.
hear that one.
Sometimes and again, if the right crowd's there, and if Estelle's there, I'll even ask Estelle to mention it. And Estelle says, "I wear rubber boots just for this reason."
That's great.
for the electric
great.
eels.
For the electric eels.
So you have a
Yes, sir.
plant in the audience, huh?
So Jonathan asked me this trip, Will, is this eel electric?
That's awesome.
Yes, it is, Jonathan.
That's awesome.
Mike Silar, appreciate those stars, buddy. And we're going to skip past Jennifer Roberts' comments.
Yeah, my daughter's watching.
All right, let's see. I think that was it for our near shore photos. The next thing we got to get to here is the weather, I believe. Yep.
Hey, I got a lot of people asking me about that braid to mono knot. So how about, can we set aside Wednesday and we'll do a video on...
Dude, it's not my fault. You have just been very lazy. That's the problem.
Lazy. Right.
Yes, we will get that done
How many
this
days
week.
were you at the dock the last 2 weeks?
A lot. All the time. I feel like I live there.
Okay.
All right, so as far as the weather is concerned, if you go to hubbardsmarina.com and click fishing trips, scroll down to the weather links page. On our weather links page there, we've got the wind finder forecast. We're going to go over to the 5 and 10 hour forecast. Let's see if you guys can't see that because a little too zoomed in. But the 5 and 10 hour forecast is where we're going to start. Under the wind finder column, and the graph is the important thing. So let's see if we can scroll in without losing it too much. So you can see all the green on the next, 7 days. Whole lot of green, and that green is higher winds. So what we got going on is we got a little cold front, pretty weak cold front moving through right now, and or it's already actually moved through, excuse me. But then this tonight, sometime it's going to start shifting out of the east. We're going to have a high pressure settle in. So the high pressure starts to settle in on Monday. We have a little bumpy conditions tomorrow, but not too bad. We're going to pull it off half days on the Florida. Got plenty of room tomorrow afternoon, and tomorrow afternoon doesn't look too bad. Staying closer to shore, the east wind really doesn't get as bad as it would the further from shore you go. Tuesday, the high pressure really gets cranking, and the high pressure, what happens is we have sunny bluebird skies, just gorgeous conditions. It's going to be in the mid-70s. Beautiful if you're onshore, but if you're going offshore, it's windy.
It's windy.
So great,
The good
sunny.
news is one thing I really, and this is going to be a great week to try it because of that east wind. On a all-day trip, we're going to be able to stay in a little closer. And don't let that scare you, because I really do believe these hogfish have moved in a lot closer than where we've been fishing. I think that that's been our issue, and I think that we need to go into the I might be fishing 40 feet.
Yeah, and that's what someone asked me. I think it was actually Estelle asked in the supporters page, and we were talking a lot about weather this week and the 10-hour all-day plan. And that's kind of what I said is because of this east wind, the further from shore you go, the more exponentially rough it gets. So we're probably not going to cancel Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to be able to run. The weather doesn't look too bad, but we're going to stay a little closer because the closer we stay to shore, the nicer it's going to be.
Right.
And those hogfish that we're kind of targeting right now
I think they're
are going to be biting well around that
I'm
40,
hoping so, for sure.
40, 50 foot mark. So that's the goal, folks.
Yeah.
Definitely Tuesday, Thursdays all day, good options. Wednesday's 12-hour extreme, kind of questionable. So we emailed and texted those folks today and kind of offered them, instead of going Wednesday on the extreme, we'd recommend Tuesday's 39-hour trip with Will because it's looking super light and definitely going to be some good fishing. You know what's happening next week, man?
What's that?
So this Tuesday, Captain Garrett's running. We don't have a Friday overnighter because spring break is kicking off and we're busy over the weekend.
That's right.
But we have Tuesday overnighters all month, the whole month of March. So this Tuesday is Captain Garrett. Next Tuesday, we're bringing someone out of retirement. You ready?
What?
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, you remember now?
Sir.
I wanted to remind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my dad is coming out of retirement to run a 39-hour
saying
trip
Mark
next
So,
week.
yeah.
No,
He's got
Mark Hubbard.
He's got a couple pretty good spots out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
He's excited.
I
He was
caught
like,
my,
make sure you tell people I'm running the trip. I'm like, people, what? Who's gonna?
Yeah, right.
You haven't ran
Don't
the
you
trip.
want? Do you
No
want?
one's gonna
Don't
know.
you want it to
No
go?
one's gonna know. Who's this guy?
That's exactly what he said. He was like,
Yeah.
well, tell people I'm running. He was like, wait, they might just say, who's that?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I told everybody, so now you guys can tell them that I told you.
I did catch my biggest grouper and my biggest jack with Captain Mark.
Oh, really? Aw, he'd like that. Maybe he's watching.
Yes, I'd like to cancel.
And Kylie does not like your jokes.
Huh? What?
I don't know.
This
She's
is
saying,
wild.
"Wow." Do you guys do hogfish like big shrimp? That's one thing, one common misconception I feel like, because you drop down one of those big jumbo shrimp, you end up catching a 14-inch red grouper near shore,
Or a gag, yeah.
or a gag, not a hogfish. I feel like those like medium size, even the small ones work.
Yeah, I break a lot of them.
A big shrimp, you would break it in half.
Yeah.
Or if you fish it live, you're fishing for a gag, or you're fishing for anything. You catch any big fish with it alive. But
And we got some gags on the half day the other. We had one style, and we probably had 30 gags.
Wow.
It's a new
On the
little,
half day?
new little ledge I ran over. We on the all day on the way out, and I went back there on the half day on Friday morning, and it was just gag after gag. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, Captain Bobby did the fishing report for the 12-hour night snapper on the wrong boat on the Florida, so I went to do the 39-hour report this morning with Captain Brian, and all the fish were already there. I was like, dude, you already filled this out. He's like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't go into this app. This app sucks. I can't figure it out. And so I was like, dude, there's the fish. And then I ended up having to like look into the settings, and it was done Saturday morning at 6 a.m. I was like, oh, it was Captain Bobby on the 12-hour night. But the 12-hour night snapper catch report looked like a 39-hour catch report because of he had so many vermilions, mangroves.
Yellowtails.
Did they get 'em?
He caught and released 30 gag grouper in 12-hour report. Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, they smashed them again. That's the
it's that
second
time of year.
12-hour
It's that
night.
time of year.
Second 12-hour night in a row. They had a really, really good catch.
I
of
might
fish.
be going Friday night. Oh, is there?
We
doesn't-
don't have one
oh,
this
gee.
Friday because we do them around the full moon, quarter moons, and then skip that new moon. So this weekend coming up is that new moon, so we don't have a 12-hour night snapper. All right, so we showed the weather, and then we got super distracted. Basically, we have cold front moving through now. Tomorrow it's going to start calming down. Then a high pressure really settles in. Tuesday to like Friday, it's going to be blowing out of the east. Sunny blue skies, gorgeous weather, but it's going to be windy and a little bumpy. But not too bad on the overnighter.
Yeah, nothing unfishable. No,
Yeah.
the overnighter, that's perfect fishing weather.
You need an anchor heading.
Yeah.
Solid
We catch
anchor.
more fish when there's a chop to the sea. If it's calm out there and it's the middle of the day and it's calm, you're not catching anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, tough.
How do they know that?
How do the fish
How
know?
can they feel a 4-foot sea 160 feet down? Or
Well-
whatever it may be. It's like, how do you feel that?
But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, for example, that's one of the interesting things that that they did at the National Marine Fisheries meeting one time. There was this presentation. There was a guy trying to get a permit to put. Remember that research trip, John, or Will, that you did on the on the Florida Fisherman with Garrett, where you took out all those people from Moat and caught the Almaco jacks?
Yep.
Let me narrow it down. You remember the 98-pound wahoo that you caught on that
Yeah,
research trip? So on that trip, you caught all those Almaco jacks. They took them back to Moat. They breeded those fish in captivity, and those fish's offspring were going to be used in a pilot project to be the first agricultural or aquacultural farm in the Gulf of Mexico off of Sarasota. So it was really, really cool. And they were doing this whole presentation on fish farming. And the biggest thing that the council members were pushing was like weather. You get hurricanes in the Gulf. When a hurricane comes through the Gulf, that sea can disturb the bottom, remove the anchor, and that trap can go somewhere. And then the fish escapement, they're worried about farm-raised fish intermingling with naturally occurring fish. And I was like, well, these are naturally occurring fish. We caught them just probably 40 miles away from where they're trying to put the farm. But they were really worried about the anchoring. So the guy came back the next meeting and did this huge presentation on hydrologic, or I forget the word for it. It was really long. But long story short, like a 4-foot sea can be felt almost 40 feet down. So like when you're in a swimming pool and you run your hand across the water really quickly, that little 2-inch wave, you can see bubbles go down almost 6-8 feet. It's like 2 or 3 times exponential how deep that sound and that motion can travel.
Right, but how would you feel 8 foot down 160 foot? You're like, how did those fish?
It's
'cause they
powers
know.
of 2 though. So what's
okay,
8 to the power of 3? I can't do math in my head. but
947.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious. But yeah, it's exponentially deep. So yes, even a small sea, the fish can feel it because that lateral line is basically a barometer.
No one's watching this show anymore.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
we're
move
down
on.
We're down to 3
We,
live
I like science.
We have to give away
You
a
got
trip
a
or
really
something right
good
now.
show.
Right
Get
now,
their
free trip.
attention.
Yeah. Give something free away.
All right, so back on to the show. Let's see who won. What?
Nothing.
What? Someone commented
No,
something
no,
funny?
no. I'm just laughing about the situation.
Me nerding out talking about hydrological aspects.
Kylie, you remember, you got to comment where you're from.
Kylie's commented a lot.
Yeah.
She said, "I'm smart."
She wants to win. She wants to win the free trips, right?
Yeah, she does.
And sell them back to me if she's anything
No,
like
she
her
was
dad.
giving it to a cool kid or something. You know?
All right, let's see who won a 5-hour half day for 2 guests. 5-hour half day for 2 guests. The lucky winner is. We still don't have the
I
drum
swear
roll
to God, if
effect.
this is Kylie, that'd be hilarious.
Robert Miller.
Robert Miller.
From Newton, GA.
Newington,
Yes,
Georgia.
sir.
I thought that said
That's all
Newton.
right.
Yeah. See, I can't do math and I
Congratulations.
can't speak. Robert Miller, remember, guys, if you're picked as that lucky winner, you got to text that phone number in front of Will there, your full home address to claim that free trip. It was Robert, right?
Yep.
Robert Miller. Got to text that phone number, your full home address, in about 5 minutes to make sure, or to show that you were watching the show live. All right. So let's see. What was the next question that we had here? Snook. We talked about this. Getting busier. Yeah, getting busier in the area for sure. So the 5 and 10 hour trips are filling up quite a bit.
Yep.
Afternoon half days are back in the system. So the afternoon half days are typically a little less full. And during the weeks, a good time to go for sure.
Kingfisher coming.
Yes, that was. Thank you for reminding me. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. You guys caught your first kingfish. Let me
sea
take
bass.
that back. The 10-hour all-day crew, aka Smokey, didn't catch any kingfish.
Smokey's
But
losing it,
The
you know?
half-day crew, Seabiscuit.
He got the first one of the year.
Make sure you
was
guys
a
all
snake.
tell Smokey.
Yeah, that when you said that and looked down, I was like, well,
No,
It was a
it was a respectable
It was
kingfish.
26 inches.
that's respectable.
It was
For sea bass.
No, Frank, you're
For a
sounding
pure
very
kingfish.
sour right now.
I am not sour.
It
I'm
was-
glad that they're here. We've seen them. They've been shooting
He
up to the
wanted it.
boat.
He
They're
wanted
sitting
it,
there,
and
and
he
then
wanted
they're
it to be
coming.
30
Dude,
pounds.
I would put $50 on the fact that fish wasn't 26. I didn't measure it.
He
but
was the one that physically told me that's how big it was. So, I mean, most
There
people
is
lie
no
about
way.
fishing, but maybe.
No, it could have been bigger. He could have not measured it. And it
Yeah,
would've been
there was
bigger.
no way.
okay.
26 inches is just over 2 feet.
Yeah.
This fish was big. Hey, it was probably at least a 3-inch fish. Or yeah,
A 3-inch?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
bet our next 39.
Moving
I
on.
think we
Move
get a
on.
big-
Move
There's a
on.
big kingfish
They're here.
coming.
They're
Yeah,
here. The
they're
kids
here.
are
the
here.
next
The
2
kingfish
weeks.
aren't.
Big one.
I wouldn't say they're here. They're showing up.
They're showing up.
They're showing up. We'll agree on that.
Well,
the mackerel are here.
Agreed to agree. I agree.
Jeez. All right, kingfish are here. We're getting busier. The deep water closure is still going on,
Catching up.
but I feel like a lot of people are scared of the deep water closure. Like, oh, you can't keep grouper right now?
Yeah, like
Explain
honestly,
the.
Well,
I mean, you're catching a bunch.
Here we
a bunch of grouper. So how are you guys working the trips?
So what we're doing right now is this mangrove snapper fishing in the ground is okay, but the fish are relatively small right now. And us fishing our deep, we got a couple deeper water areas we can fish, and the snappers are bigger out there. There's a better variety of fish out there. Some of the snappers are like, we probably had an average of 3 to 5 pounds at night last trip, mangrove snappers.
3 to 5 pounds is the average size mangrove. That's crazy, man. That's all.
And the people fishing with live bait, we had a couple guys fishing with pinfish throughout the night, and you're not getting the bycatch that way. You're not catching porgies and vermilions that way, but you're coming back with a big stringer of mangoes fishing with the live bait in the deep water. And we don't catch many grouper out there on the big ledges, especially the red grouper, because we can't keep the gags right now. We are catching some gags out there on the bigger ledges, but the red groupers don't bite well at night, and we're not fishing red grouper bottom at night, so we aren't throwing back mini grouper right now.
Nice.
And then the grouper fishing is good enough to where we get a nice pile of fish at night. And there's one fish out there that does not bite at night. After my 16 years of fishing, there's one single fish that does not bite at night, ever. No, triggerfish. Triggerfish do not bite at night. So what we did this last trip, we stayed one spot out there after sunup and caught like 10 or 15 big triggerfish. And then we had to make a decision, do we run up here to the grounds to catch a few big groupers, which they're there, or do we sit out here and we could catch a boat limit of triggerfish out there right now. But we have to mix it up and go up in the grounds where we can keep some grouper too right now. And the grouper fishing's good enough to where it's worthwhile.
Well, the triggerfish are no, we're not going to go.
No, we're not getting into
We're not getting into the fishing
The
regulations.
triggerfish, they go to sleep at night. I had a saltwater aquarium. And
They
my
must,
triggerfish
dude.
would always put up under this rock, and he'd lay there.
That's what I was saying.
He
They
would lay
close their
on his
eyes at
side
night.
and go to sleep.
Yeah.
You just see his eye. He wouldn't move or nothing. And then I turned on the light, and then his eyes start moving around. He'd wake up and.
And I have one triggerfish thing I figured out, how to catch a triggerfish on a 39-hour especially.
Oh, all right. What's your secret triggerfish thing?
Chicken rig, but
Did you say the
lots
word
of
chicken
chicken
rig
rigs.
on this show right
At
now?
least
they
Get out.
hate, they hate glow beads on the chicken rig.
Huh.
You will, like, out of season, people are fishing chicken rigs with glow beads on them, like Bearded Todd, because he wants to, just because he wants to put a couple extra things on there, and he will catch nothing but triggerfish.
So wait, the triggerfish like the glow beads?
Yeah, they can't stand it on there. You're going to catch
saying-
triggerfish.
You're saying they can't stand
attack
it?
it.
Oh, okay.
They attack that thing.
I was confused.
That's
Were
what
you
I
confused?
was. I was like, what does he mean?
They get mad at that glow bead on there, and you will kill the triggerfish.
You know what's really funny about that is whenever we drop GoPros down, one of the first fish to come up and kind of peck at the GoPro red light is always a triggerfish.
Yeah, he sees that green bead down there, and when he eats the bait, but he goes looking at that green bead first, and the guy fishing with the green beads is the guy that catches a bunch of triggerfish.
There you have it.
Weird.
Secret triggerfish trip.
So
Tricks, techniques,
Tips, techniques.
tips. That's it.
he just trailed off. So triggerfish bait. If you were going out there to catch a triggerfish, so now we know you got to have glow beads. And the second thing would
You don't
be,
have to have anything. You'll catch them, but the best is a glow bead chicken rig with
Stop saying chicken rig.
glow bead,
Double snell rig. Go ahead.
double snail rig with soft bait on there, like the squid, fresh squid, cut fresh fish,
Small pieces.
small pieces of
Small
something
amount.
they can sit there and chew on.
I got you. I like that little strip of squid, that little 2.5, 3-inch strip of squid that's like a 1/4 inch wide. That little floaty. Get
You
the
might
flipper
catch
going.
one on a threadfin, but you got lucky if you caught one on a threadfin.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
Just because they have such a small mouth, you need a smaller piece of bait.
Yes.
All right, there's the triggerfish secret. They are very good eating. They opened up March 1st, and they're typically open till around early May, depending on when that quota is projected to be caught. Amberjack season supposed to be open in May. We're kind of going to find out a lot at this next Gulf Council meeting in April. They're going to kind of give us the final answer on the May May Amberjack season, and they're going to kind of give us the final answer on red snapper season projections. For us federally permitted for hire fishing fleet, we know red snapper will be open June 1st. And like I said on past shows, I'll bet you $1,000 they're open June and July. So I'm going to owe a lot of people $1,000 if I'm wrong on that. But I'm very confident that they will be open all of June and July into early August. If we get a big bump in quota, we might see them stay open through maybe mid-August. But I don't see them bumping the quota up any more than enough to just give us a few maybe extra days, maybe an extra week, if that. But I would plan on June and July to focus on those red snapper if you're fishing on a federally permitted for-hire boat like one of Hubbard's marinas. All right. So I think that covers the main things I wanted to pick up from the Facebook's questions. Let's get into some of these questions that you guys have texted us in. time is it? We got a little bit of time before we'll do our next giveaway. Are you able to keep redfish? No, we already talked about that one. Unfortunately, you cannot keep redfish still. The FWC is talking about that, and hopefully they will have a decision on that at the next FWC commission meeting, which will be sometime in April. I forget the exact date off the top of my head.
They may make those things catch and release forever.
No, I highly doubt that they would do that, in my opinion. There's a lot of pressure to open the seasons. The big reason, in my opinion, that they are slowing down, because coming into this FWC meeting, the FWC staff recommendation was to remove the executive order and reopen trout, redfish, and snook. But the executive director of FWC, Eric Sutton, changed that staff recommendation like literally the day before the meeting.
Wow.
To say, hey, we're not saying don't open them. We're just saying let's wait and let the science catch up. And as with everything right now, the excuse is COVID, because FWRI, the Florida Wildlife Research Institute, where they do all the science for FWC in the whole area and the whole state, was totally closed to their scientists starting in like March of last year, and still is not allowing scientists to go back into the wet labs. And I know some of those scientists pretty well, and these people are so dedicated. They're still getting paid. They're still going out and doing some of the science collection. And they're literally taking these fish home to their kitchens. One of them sent me a photo of they're dissecting a snook on their kitchen island in their house, and their wife's in the background looking upset. He's like, this has been my quarantine. Oh man, I could not imagine that. Pretty crazy. But yep, to answer your question, we are still on that snook, redfish, trout closure. All right, next question. Touch base on the size limits for mangroves. Some people are stuck on them being 10 inches, but it's different having reef permits, correct? No, that has more to do with federal waters. So in federal...
But you would have a reef permit, you would have to go by federal water regulations.
Yeah. I don't have my phone in my pocket. It's 12 inches offshore, right? And 10 inches state waters.
On our trip, we get a lot of 12 and a quarter inch fish, and we got to ice them overnight, and so we don't keep those small ones.
No, in my opinion, I wouldn't keep a mangrove snapper, especially offshore. And deeper nearshore waters, unless they were large enough to where you weren't even thinking about measuring it. Just because you don't get much meat off of a 12-inch mangrove. And 9 out of 10 times, fishing's good enough, especially this time of year. We're catching so many of them. Yeah. You don't want to take up a spot on your stringer.
Does it work the same way with the red grouper closure, where if you come in and you can keep them within 120? So what about a mangrove snapper? If we were inside 9 miles, can we keep a 10-incher?
It's called
we go by federal.
No, there's some provision. It's the same provision that protects people who are fishing in the Bahamas, transit. It's transit law. So you fish in the Bahamas, you fish under Bahamian law, you package those fish, you stow your fishing tackle, and you transit through Florida state waters and federal EEZ waters of the United States of America with illegal fish, but they were legal where you caught them in the Bahamas. So the transit thing protects us. So in federal waters is where we prosecute our fishery. We follow federal regulations because of our federal permits. But once we finish fishing, our fishing tackle is stowed, the fish boxes are closed, and we're just transitioning. Gotcha. But if you stopped in state waters and did a stop in state waters, then you'd be in a pickle, because then you have to follow whichever's more restricted.
I've heard of the boat that got busted for that and made that law happen.
Yeah. It's transit. There's some, I forget the wording for it, but there's some very specific
They're going
things.
to the Bahamas and smoking them and then coming back and bringing back a totally illegal amount of fish in the United States, but they had killed them in the Bahamas. It was legal in the Bahamas, and they finally ended up just killing them at the dock.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of different things with that, but the same issues happen with federal waters and states. I mean, people going into Louisiana and catching a bunch of snook, redfish, and trout in the Mississippi, and then running back to another state. Yeah. There's a bunch of different jurisdictional issues like that. So the transit law kind of helped clear all that up. Can I win free fishing trips from the YouTube comment section? So at this time, no. The only way you can win a free trip or be eligible to be picked as one of those lucky winners is by commenting on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook video stream, like we talked about in the beginning of the video. And you have to watch the whole show and be watching live. So kind of we described the whole thing in the beginning, so you know how to do it, and that's how we do it through the show. So you have to be watching live. You have to comment once on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook video, but you can watch on YouTube. You just have to at least comment once on Facebook. Dan Netto, appreciate you, man. Thanks for those 1,000 stars.
Yes, sir. Who's been the star leader these days?
The star leader's been bouncing around. Gabe has been hitting us with the liquor, man. He's bringing me Wellers. Gabe has connections.
He gave up on
South Florida.
yeah, dude. Yeah, that's got it going on.
And I love the stars, but I much prefer the alcohol. Gabe's been bringing me.
Don't say that too. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can switch out sending stars if you're gonna bring high dollar bottles of liquor. That's totally fine.
Look at that, banged it out with some stars.
Oh, that's
Kylie Bachelor.
Kylie sent some stars.
She doesn't have a job. Those are the stars she can afford.
She stole your credit card to send us those stars.
Yeah.
Frank Bachelor sent in 4,000 stars.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, we giving it away all day now?
Stop rushing me, bro.
I'm not trying to rush. I'm just trying to keep
Look,
you
Kylie sent more stars.
Yeah, she's nailing it.
Let's see. All right. Are you still? No, we already talked about that one. Have you ever tried Eagle Claw? They talking about hooks or alcohol?
Eagle Claw.
He's drinking Eagle right
Eagle Claw Pro V octopus hooks for snapper or grouper. They a little weird looking, but very sharp.
I don't know.
I've never heard of them. I've
never heard of them.
As long as they're sharp, yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
That's your criteria, huh?
don't buy dull hooks.
The one hook I noticed that doesn't work for mangrove snappers that people come out on a 39-hour with, they think they need a hook that's like as thick around as your pinky is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that's the biggest thing for me when I'm buying hooks for mangrove snapper is thin wire with a small barb.
Yeah.
As long as it's a small barb, thin wire hook, you're
And
good.
they stick to it. As soon as they bite, I got him. There it is, yeah.
You can't.
Mustad Ultra Points, those cutting point tips, those work great too.
Yeah. You're always been a Mustad guy. I like owner hooks. Gamakatsu makes a good hook. The Offshore Angler Bass Pro Shops bulk hooks work really well. Virtually anything. Again, you're looking for thin wire with a small barb. If it's too big of a barb, it's not going to easily stick in that mangrove's mouth.
And if you ever see me fishing on a 39-hour catching fish, I'm fishing with the same hooks that the people with their rental rods are fishing with.
Yeah, most of the time as
well. Wondering if you guys dialed in the Hub 2 for slow pitch jigging. So we definitely dialed in the Flying Hub 2. We got some new Yamaha 425s, and that boat is getting down and running really well, catching a lot of nice fish. We are not running any slow pitch jigging trips specifically, but the boat is available for private charter. If anybody did want to privately charter it, we could focus on slow pitch jigging. But a lot of people do slow pitch jig on the 39-hour, the 12-hour stream.
Brian and his son went out this trip. He called a couple keeper scamps, mango, multiple other fish. Jason, too, Cabrera was out there. And there were two guys slow pitch jigging this trip. And they both – and you're not killing them, but you catch a couple different fish. And it's cool catching them on a jig, you know.
Sometimes when they're
That's
not
what I
biting,
see,
that can sometimes trigger it,
It
too.
does.
Yeah.
And
When
I
they're not
don't like
biting.
fishing a jig like that just because I never have. I like the traditional.
We're lazy.
Yeah, little diamond jig if I ever am. I don't anymore, but if
You know
I
what
did.
I found out, though? Well, I think it was either June 5th or July 5th of last year, we did a live show with the guy, I can never remember his name when I'm on the spot, but we talked all about slow pitch jigging. And I said, what is your favorite kind of like intro slow pitch jig? And his answer was a diamond jig, a small diamond jig. Because it's not the jig that's actually slow pitch. It's more about the action of the rod. So you can slow pitch jig virtually any artificial. So that was something I didn't know. So, and I feel like the diamond jig, that hammer diamond jig, was
The hammered
Always
gold
been.
hammered diamond jig. I've caught multiple muttons on the 39 hour on a diamond jig.
Yeah, the hammered diamond jig, the big one for the amberjack, the smaller one for the scamps, snapper. That was always my favorite go-to.
I've caught an over 60-pound jack on a diamond
Benny
jig.
Ortiz, that was it. I can never remember his name. But yes, Benny Ortiz and I did a live show, and we Zoom called, and he talked about that. His favorite is a hammered diamond jig. Pretty funny.
That is funny. That's one of the best ones, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got all them fancy $50, $60 slow pitch jigs. And
Give them a diamond jig
jigs.
so they don't lose the good one to start with.
I like that question I saw up there. It said, Wilbo, do you have a favorite fish recipe?
Dude, Will is an incredible cook. Let me just start there. Every time I've been to Will's house for a cookout,
I've got
he takes
easy
it
fish
very
recipe.
serious.
I've got a couple now. I've got two stupid easy whole fish recipe. If you have the thing where you can put the fish in and grill it, scaled gut. I'd do it with like a yellowtail or vermilion, and then put a few slices in it, fresh parsley, fresh garlic, and lemon juice on it, and grill it, and it's incredible.
So you're saying take the whole fish.
Slice it, stuff it with, just fill the slices with fresh parsley, lemon juice, or fresh parsley, garlic, and then cover it with lemon juice, grill it.
In one of those fish cages?
Yeah, in one of the cages is better. I did it just on the grill, but it's very tricky that way. You got to be good at it to do it that way. Yeah.
You're
or
talking
oil
about
or grill up.
So scale it, gut it, fill the gut
No,
cavity.
don't fill the
just...
gut cavity at all. Cut a couple slices in it and fill the slices up.
Okay.
With garlic and parsley.
So just slice down the side.
Yeah.
Like you're in a fancy restaurant.
Yes, lemon juice that thing. Cook it a little bit more than you think you should because it won't be done. I've done that before where it's not done enough. But as far as like cooking fish for my daughter, I get it and fillet it, skin it, and I just saute it in the pan with a little bit of Emerald's essence.
Ooh.
That's what I do.
Emerald's
It's like blackened, but it's not
Smells
spicy.
delicious.
He said it with a little bit of a
Yeah,
twang.
he did. Yeah,
He
he
said
did.
Emerald's essence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that just a little bit of Hellman's mayo, a lot of seasoning, and stick that in the broiler on the grill.
Yeah, totally
Hellman's
different. Totally
crispy.
different.
Yeah, you and your
Crisps
dad
it
like
up.
that mayo.
Dude, the
covered
whole
thing.
fish though.
You
all gotta try the
a
whole one.
light coating of mayo locks in the moisture, makes it crispy on the edges. It's
What
fire.
about Miracle Whip?
Absolutely, do not use anything but Hellman's mayo.
I love Miracle Whip.
And dude,
That's
another thing
gross.
is,
No one
I
eats
know a guy
Miracle Whip.
that
Miracle Whip
recommends.
is
There's only one guy I know that recommends this in the world. You see it on the bottom down there?
Bear fat. Yeah. Bearded Todd eats a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah. Cook my
I
fish
think he's gonna run out of bear fat this
Yeah.
year too. He didn't get one.
I also
Todd.
prefer
He killed a coyote though. He has
Oh,
coyote fat.
He's got a coyote backstrap.
I like
if
to
anyone's
drown in
interested.
beaver piss.
Now you guys know why we call him Bearded Todd. He's a woodsman.
He is a woodsman. I don't really know him too well personally. I've said hello to him, but
He's
were like-
Estelle's neighbor.
I've watched.
If that explains
I've watched a lot of his posts. So yeah,
He's funny.
I know what he's all about.
it. Woodsy. He's very woodsy.
Very woodsy. We're gonna go do something one day. Me and Bearded Todd. Something outdoorsy.
Outdoorsy. He wants to take us hunting.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
kinda worried.
Poaching. He said poaching. No.
Yeah, he loves poaching. Right? Poaching his eggs.
Poaching
right?
his eggs.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out who won a 10-hour all day for two guests. A 10-hour all day for two guests.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it?
And I agree about the Duke's mayo. By the
Oh,
way.
we forgot to do. Remind me after we do the giveaway. We gotta introduce.
All right,
bottle
and then I'll have a
sponsor.
sip.
We've been slacking. Oh, I hit the wrong button.
Good night.
Look what you made me do. 10-hour all day for two guests goes to. You guys really suck on the drum roll. I even set you up for it. Angelo
Migliaccio. I believe.
Migliaccio.
I feel like they have won before.
No, definitely never heard that word or that.
I
last
feel
name
like I
before.
had to pronounce that one time for you because you couldn't pronounce it. I could be wrong.
Who knows?
Either
It
way,
could be the moonshine.
Angelo Migliaccio.
I don't know. I feel very offended. So many people are saying
I feel
not
like-
Hellman's mayo
I
in
feel
the
like-
comments.
I hear it's
saw
getting into the 50s
Duke's
in
mayo.
Indiana.
Yes.
In the 50s? Oh, man, I could not handle the 50s. That's why we live in Florida. It's going to be sunny and 75 this week. A little breezy, but sunny and 75, no no less. How do you spell that? Mig. Pronounce it again.
L-I-A-
I liked how you pronounce it.
Migliaccio.
Yeah, I think I nailed it.
I don't know. Let us know, Angelo, how bad Frank butchered your last name.
Is this a 10-hour trip?
That was a 10-hour
All
all
right,
day for 2.
Yeah, so you can be offended with your captain when you get there.
So maybe be careful.
Yeah, how offended were you? Yeah.
All right, let's
Did
see
he even
here.
call in?
Let's see what the next thing is. We are running short on time, so we'll try to get the last couple in here real fast.
Bottle sponsor.
Oh, bottle sponsor. Thank you, Frank, because, Will, you forgot. Angels Envy, compliments of our buddy Adam Franklin. We were setting up the studio. Adam stopped.
I'll take a taste.
Yeah, you want to try that? I forgot. Adam stopped by and dropped that off. He was traveling in town with his better half, and he actually drove straight from his house to the studio before he checked in the hotel so he could bring us that bottle. He christened the studio. It was the first bottle of liquor ever.
Oh, he brought me one
brought.
too. I drank it at the house.
Moving on. David Pruitt with 1,000 stars. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. Let's see. All right, the next 2 are from our buddy Brian Eakins from the 10-hour trip. This one is Redneck Riviera Whiskey.
Get out of here.
It's-
Yeah,
says
dude,
work
I
hard,
wanted to
play
try
hard.
that. Dude, I didn't because it wasn't open. I didn't try it, Brian.
Yeah, we got to try that one. We've been
Well, okay, let's double up here. I finished my water.
we've been trying the Old Smoky.
Do you need some ice, Will, or do you want it straight?
Yeah, I'm gonna get up here for a
The
moment.
Old Smoky is very good.
Pardon me.
I can get it for you. If you want.
The ice bucket's right there, boys.
Yeah.
We've got a whole bar cart. We have an ice bucket. It's classy in here. Please don't knock over any of the cords.
That
though.
was a phone.
That was my phone.
We need some more ice.
Butler. All right, let's see. What's the next question? What's the best way to work or present a naked ball jig? So we did that video, I think, what was that, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago? Oh, you get me more ice so I can refill. I like it. Half of it went on the keyboard, but so the best way to work or present that naked ball jig, I think, would be best represented it probably in that video that we filmed, right? I mean, we went pretty in depth into how to work that.
It would be the same way. Did we put the naked ball jig on and do the video? No, we only did that
Yeah.
one. But it works the same way as that video that
You
showed.
didn't put the naked ball
Right.
jig on, but
But you work it the same way as you would the knocker rig with the beads.
You
Same
gotta
way.
work it. So go to Fishing Trips on our website. Go down to fishing video links. Why are you looking at me like that?
I was looking over at Will.
Hey,
Be like,
Will.
Will.
Will, do you want some of that?
There you go.
So go to fishing video links and then fishing tips and tricks.
Don't smell it. You can even smell it.
Oh, look at this. Mike's recommending some rubber grill mats. And does it still give it the grilled flavor, Mike? That's the question.
Makes
Or do
grill
I just have a
marks.
cooked piece of fish?
Rubber grill mats.
No, it
grill
doesn't-
mats that you see on
doesn't
TV. It's
say-
not rubber.
It doesn't say rubber.
But I'm imagining it's rubber, though.
I don't know. I don't think.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Grill mats. I don't know. See, I just use a spatula, and I don't need a
Yeah.
cage or nothing.
No, dude, I did it straight up on the
I'm
grill.
very good
But it's hard to
at
get that skin
cooking
off.
my food. You can see that I cook my food very efficiently.
And even if he doesn't.
Yeah.
I'll eat that right off the grill.
He finally
It's
won that
still
battle
evil.
against anorexia.
So if you go to Fishing Trips, go down to Fishing Video Links, and then Fishing Tips and Tricks. It brings us to our Fishing Tips and Tricks page. Right in the middle there, if you're on a computer, it's second row in the middle. If you're on a phone,
good.
it's the fourth video down, called How to Catch a Hogfish and What Rig to Use. Is going to exclusively go over your question about how to present that naked ball jig. Basically, you cast out and kind of work it back
Watch
to you
the video.
slowly. Yeah, watch the video.
Yeah.
Don't give it all away.
Right.
The video will help explain
We're short
it
on
the
time.
best.
Don't have to do it. Watch the video.
Daniel Steve said he's talking about the copper grill mat. Definitely a good option. Copper grill mat. I've never heard of that.
I
I'll
don't
have to
cook
check
fish,
that
so
out.
I don't.
I don't necessarily
how I feel
cook
about
fish that
fish.
often because
But the whole fish is really good, especially with those fresh ingredients. It tastes so fresh. And
yeah,
it's-
I like a
it's
whole fish
really
way
good.
better than and unfortunately my wife is a little bit spoiled when it comes to fresh seafood.
You gotta give it a try a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, but she loves fish and seafood, but she won't eat a whole fish.
No.
You got those eyeballs staring at
And
you.
they poke out. They come out.
Yeah.
They pop out. They're good. A fish eyeball is very good.
I haven't done that yet.
Oh yeah, snapper eyeball, especially a red snapper. They're bigger eyeballs.
I'm a sea scallop guy myself.
Try a snapper eyeball.
Nope.
Snapper throat
guys,
too, because when
that's
you
why I
cook the
get-
whole fish, you get the throat in there
I
too.
give
Yeah,
all my
absolutely.
fish away.
Yeah. Let's see. What other questions? What size hook works best for triggerfish? Mangrove snapper size, typically, right?
Yeah, the trigger has a small mouth.
Yeah. Even,
Small
yeah,
mouth.
maybe what, a 2-aught, 3-aught?
Yeah.
Whoa,
You're-
you're talking
and now-
that small?
If
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
you
like
can
it's
use a small hook for a trigger, but when I would say if they keep them open in April and we're fishing in deep water for triggers in April, because the grouper will be open then, so we can fish the grouper in the deeper water,
Yeah,
then the guy that catches
Grouper
the
are open right now. What it means is in April we fish deeper. 'cause
yeah,
we
we'll
don't
we'll
have that
be fishing for them deeper in April,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? Over years I've noticed the guy that catches the biggest triggerfish has a big hook, because the little triggerfish can't get that hook into his mouth, and the guy that catches the jumbo is fishing with a big hook. But
So now you've
sounds
told
like a
us.
theory.
there's two different. You'll catch more triggerfish fishing with small hook.
On a porgy rig.
On
You'll
a
catch
porgy rig.
better fish and more quality fish doing a double snell rig
With a bigger hook.
normal mangrove snapper.
Yeah,
size
that's
hook.
where I see the guy
And
gets
when you
the
say
biggest
big
one.
hook, you're talking about
16
like a
ounce?
6
A 5, 6, 7, yeah.
yeah.
And that trigger,
Like your
somehow
normal
he got it
mangrove
into his mouth. Somehow that big thing
Yeah.
got that.
Well, I
giant
mean, a
hook in-
big trigger fish. You're
has
talking
big
about
hook.
a
Yeah,
dinner
we're
plate.
talking triggerfish
Yeah.
7 to 10 pounds. We're
Yeah.
gonna get some 10-pounders this year.
Yeah,
as long as the
monsters.
season stays open long enough, we're gonna get some huge ones. We haven't even made it out to them yet this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good spring for sure.
I wonder what the record on triggerfish is.
It's stupid.
Is it stupid?
Yeah,
I feel like we've had
they
a
catch big
12-pounder.
ones off the Carolinas because it gets deep so fast over there. They get big triggerfish, scamp, that kind of stuff.
I think I've seen a 12-pounder on the 39, and I want to see the state. I feel like they protect them so much over here that we potentially can get a
Somebody
state
look it
record
up.
one of these
What's
days.
the state record?
Yeah, somebody pop it up here.
We have Google literally open. On
Oh,
the
yeah, we
other
do. There
side.
We're
we
very
go.
busy right now.
State record. Can't
He's
see
already
too
got
well.
Look at
from
Florida
over
state record, not just state
Florida.
record. There you go.
Trigger fish. 12 pounds, 7 ounces.
We called
That's
it 12
very
pounder.
small. I
We
thought
called it
was way bigger.
12-pounder.
Is that right?
Let's see what the world record. Now I'm interested.
We have
Now
a chance here, guys, at beating a record triggerfish with as bad as the regulations.
Says
And
are
if
now.
you catch a
13.9.
possible record triggerfish, you have to do the paperwork because
We caught 2
we've gone
lionfish.
down that path
Yeah.
before, and it is
Dude,
ridiculous.
we have a chance at beating this world record one day.
Yeah. World record is 13.9, so the state record is not very far off the world record.
Yeah, there's a guy, and it could have even been, we weighed it and didn't even care about triggerfish at the time. I know it was over 12 pounds. It was the original Bogani, rest his soul.
He's not dead.
No, this one is. This
Oh,
is different.
the
The other
original.
Bogani.
Okay.
The original Bogani. He had an over
OG?
12 pound, the OG Bogani had an over 12 pound triggerfish.
That's a monster
Weighed in
trigger.
at the dock. And we did not even consider a record back then.
Crazy. I am a 14-year-old from Indiana, love to fish, but no experience fishing in the Gulf. I'm bringing a kayak down for spring break starting later March. I plan to fish John's Pass. Any tips? So be very careful in John's Pass because of the currents. You want to make sure you're 100% up to speed on the tide tables and what the current is doing. But if I was you from a kayak, I'd be launching around Jungle Parada and working that
Bay
that
Ponds
whole
area.
east side from Jungle Parada south to that little Central Avenue Bridge, TI Causeway, along that mangrove shoreline, or north, like
Yeah.
Frank said, to the VA.
Yeah, no, you can also launch at the VA Medical Center
ramp.
boat ramp and go head north up under the bridge.
Ooh.
There's the old railroad trestle tracks there, and
I wasn't
there's
going to talk about that.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. That's a good option.
yeah,
Great option
you go
too.
up there with where the KOA campground is.
Oh,
through
you're
all those
talking behind.
mangroves,
Yeah.
and fishing those.
Well,
little-
you could
that
just
little
launch
cut.
from that KOA. That
Yeah,
KOA has a kayak launch.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
they
KOA
sure
is
do.
dope.
Yeah, that
Dude,
KOA is awesome.
Dude, I love that KOA. And they
That's
have those
real
little
dope.
chalets now, so you can go glamping, not
Yeah,
camping.
they have the
If you
camp,
got a wife like mine,
the camping cabins.
love you, baby.
Oh, dude, my wife has never slept in a tent and never will.
They have this,
That's why they have chalets.
they're called camping cabins. They're like just over $100 a night.
They're
But
not cabins, though.
but
It's
they
like
have-
a house.
Yeah, they have
It's like a
they have
hotel.
air conditioning and a TV in there.
Yeah, it's
and then,
nice.
And then you walk out and there's a swing and a fire pit and everything. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And then the
I've
fire
done
pit
that with
has a
Kylie.
little-
Oh, look at Frank,
Little-
look what's going on here. Where does your dad sing karaoke?
Oh, someone's hitting them up.
No.
Kylie's not giving it up. She said it's yuck.
That is not what she's talking about.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's
bullshit.
100%.
She's talking about eating fish.
Where does your dad sing karaoke?
She
talking about
said
eating
it's
fish.
yuck.
Somebody may have made a bacon comment because for some reason my daughter does not like bacon.
What?
Right?
But that has
That's
nothing to do
crazy.
with where does your dad sing karaoke, Kylie?
I feel like it has a lot to do with your karaoke. The throwing up
She's
face.
going to tell you in the shower
What?
What?
because she can hear me singing it.
Oh, you sing in the
Yeah.
shower?
Yeah, I did that the other day.
Things got weird.
She's like, ha, I recorded it. Oh,
Yeah, singing in the shower, huh?
come on.
Yeah, don't go there. All right, moving on. Now we're talking about bacon. Yes, bacon is very good, Kylie. It is very
Let's give
un-American
away,
not to like
overnighter.
bacon. Good to see Will on the show. Good night tonight. Good show tonight. See, people like you, Will.
Kylie, if you answer that
Surprise,
question,
surprise.
Kylie, if
I mean-
you answer that question, you're off social media.
Kylie said she has it on video. Kylie, I will give you $100 right now, Kylie.
She would
I
rather-
will cash app you $100.
She would have
Cash app you $100. Don't listen to your father. Post it. Post that video.
you think-
$200, Kylie.
You think
Post that video.
You think $200 is going to be worth her social media? Yeah. Good luck.
$300, Kylie. Post that video.
Carrying
Guys,
on.
let's
And
start a
here's the link. Here's the
GoFundMe.
link, guys. It's up.
Start a GoFundMe to get Kylie to post that karaoke.
All right,
He's
Upham's
scratching
got-
his head. He's nervous.
Uphams got 50 on it, and Bearded Todd's got 25. Estelle 25 too.
Kylie,
Okay,
you're
so
up to $500, girl. Post that video. You can buy social media.
All right. We need to give away an overnighter.
right, enough
it's
of that.
It's 9:35.
Don't rush me.
Come on.
Don't rush me. Let's see. One more question.
All
What's your favorite trolling rig, Wilbo? For tuna this spring.
all right,
Favorite troll.
tuna this spring. There's two different two diving lures. New Nomad
He's getting his phone.
or
to text
Rapala.
me.
Nomad or Rapala diving lures. Colors.
Diving plug. You're talking about.
Yes, diving plugs, colors don't matter except for the super bright green one. I don't like the neon green one.
The
It just-
mahi
yeah,
color?
it just doesn't look right to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we have caught a kingfish on one before, but red and white or blue green maybe.
Yeah, the more natural colors.
Yeah.
I agree. The Nomad DTX Minnow, the Rapala X Wraps are what he's talking about. We have both in our shop before you go fishing. Frank, your favorite lure for kingfish near shore?
None.
None? Flatline it?
Yeah, I like the flat line. And
I got you.
The
10
live-
hours
live
we don't really
sardines.
troll.
The hardware,
Yeah.
the hardware,
yeah, the
Planers,
number
right?
one planer, with the 100-pound mono, and then
100 pound.
Yeah,
100 pound?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
just for the leader, so they don't
I got you.
cut them off. And then what size spoons do we use? What are those numbered?
He left the studio.
He literally left, and he's locked out. Does he even know that?
It seems like he propped the door
Oh,
open.
okay, I got it.
So he's not completely lost.
Oh, he's peeing.
Yes, in front of the security cameras, most likely.
Yeah, that's
Shout out to our landlord.
awesome.
And we will be
I'm
evicted
kidding. He's
next
not really
week. All right, so we answered that last question about trolling, kind of. We got everything you need before your trip in the office. Essentially, 5-hour half days, 39 hours, 44 hours. You can troll if you have the appropriate tackle. On a 10-hour trip, 12-hour trip, we're moving too fast to troll. 9 out of 10 times, you can't
Yeah.
troll on those trips.
That's true.
So with that, we are pretty much wrapped up here with our main show. Don't forget, though, if you are a supporter, you got to join us for that supporters after show on the private supporters group. To become a supporter, there's a button in the top right corner of our Facebook page. You can click that button on a computer. If you're on your cell phone, just scroll to the top of the Hubbard's Marina page. Click Become a Supporter. Once you become a supporter, you'll have private access to that private supporters group where there's about 120 members, and we share a bunch of different fishing recipes. We talk all about fishing, and you get a lot more connectivity and just kind of, it's a cool group. And you get the supporters after show, which we're going to start up in about 5 minutes after this show ends. It gets a lot more colorful. So if you got kids in the house watching the show, put them away for that supporters after show. Because it is, this is PG, I would say 13. We rounded up for that after show. So make sure you tune in if you're a supporter. And don't forget, next week is our special ladies fishing show. What?
I want my social media.
I want my Kylie, $1,000. $1,000. I will bring you cash money. Kylie,
she's at that age where social media is priceless.
All right, Kylie.
$1,000.
We'll talk.
She's old.
Now we can talk.
That's a lot of money.
500 each.
No, you don't split. Your father doesn't get a cent of that money, Kylie.
Then you don't.
That's
get
a contingency. But so don't forget, next week we have that special ladies episode of the live stream show with Jennifer Roberts. Maybe. She may or may not lose her position depending on her comments in the next episode. Estelle Wolfman, Christina Fernandez, and Joanna Price, one of our office staff member extraordinaires, will be on the show next week. So it's going to be a cool episode. So make sure you tune in next week and every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Oh, Raleigh Thomas has got $400, Kylie.
No,
so now we're up to another.
Good Raleigh.
Now we're up to $1,500.
Did we give away a 39-hour?
$1,500, Kylie. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, young lady.
Kylie, this is not real.
You could literally buy yourself your first car with this money, Kylie. Post that video, girl.
I will throw in 52.
Oh, we're up to $1,600, Kylie.
Oh my God, Kylie, this is not true.
$1,600.
I promise they will not give you the money.
I promise I will.
Yeah. I've been waiting for a raise for 5 years for $5. Not gonna give it to you.
I'll give it to his daughter though for that video of him doing karaoke. All right, with that, guys,
that makes me feel like trash.
Tune into the supporters after show to see the continuance of this saga. All right, let's see who won the 39-hour fishing trip for one person. 39-hour fishing trip for one person.
Let's see.
Right.
It's never been somebody.
What are you doing?
It's never been somebody I know personally.
39-hour trip for one person. Oh, you do know her
Francine.
personally.
Yes,
Francine.
I'll call you.
Yes,
She's
ma'am.
from Largo. And Francine comes out on a lot of our trips. She's been watching the show forever.
Religiously.
Glad to have you on the 39-hour,
Yeah.
Francine.
Francine Will is going to give
awesome.
you the VIP first time. Is it her first trip? She does a ton of fishing trips.
She does
with
10
us,
hours in
like all the time.
yeah.
But I don't know if she's done a 39.
I don't know if you had the experience yet.
Yeah, it is non-transferable, Francine, so we are going to make you take that 39-hour trip. So make sure you tune in next week. We'll talk a lot about ladies fishing on our long-range trips and more about fishing tips and tricks. And hopefully everybody will join us next Sunday and every Sunday right here on the Hubbard's Marina Live Show. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing,
You're just too busy.
there you go, guys. You were supposed to both do it.
I know.
Whatever.
I wanted to make sure Will knew what
We
to
looked at
say.
each other and he gave me the okay.
I wanted to make sure he knew what to say.
And I made it sound very awkward.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward. All right, guys. If Kylie sends me that video, I will reach out to everybody who pledged money, and we'll get that little lady
So
paid
dirty.
quick.
This is so dirty.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. If you're a supporter, or if you become a supporter, the supporters private group is where that live show plays, that after show. Kylie Bachelor, that was $1,600. That is a down payment on your first car, young lady. I will deliver it in cash. Promise. Post that video.
Oh my god.
We're going karaoke singing next week at Frank's spot.
One of the supporters offered to buy a GPS tracking device to attach to your Jeep. So
I
we
think
could
I
track
think
your
I know it,
Jeep.
guys.
Do you think I drive
know it.
there? I am Ubering.
You Uber?
I think I know.
Of course I do. I'm not an
I
idiot.
know
I'm
it.
just my captain's
We got to get one of them.
It's on
small...
Reddington Beach. That's all I'll say.
No, he told us one supporters after show when he was drunk. I forget the names of it, but I got it written
It's
down.
on
in my
Reddington
You
mind.
guys have a wonderful evening.
Supporters after show. Tune in. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of the live stream show.
I know where it is. The tavern.
Friendly tavern. That's only one of them. There was a couple of them. He had a